Hello, everyone. This is Cory from Japan, and it is my honor to be participating in my second 10 by 10 EFL talk for TESOL, Macedonia, Thrace, Northern Greece. So, I am going to talk about something maybe a little bit different than the sub theme. So, I was looking at teaching in a low resource context. And when I interpreted that, I was thinking low resources in terms of low access to funds. So I am focusing on technology because I assume that most classrooms, even ones with very poor funding, do have access to some internet. So my presentation in my talk today is probably a little bit different than some of the other ones in the group. But anyway, this is my interpretation of a low resource situation and some suggestions. But before I make some suggestions, what I am going to talk about, this is a quick overview. I'm going to talk a little bit about piracy, theft, and morality before I talk about some teacher development resources that I highly recommend. And finally, as everyone who knows me knows, I am a crusader for extensive reading and listening, so I will talk a little bit about that. So, one thing that is a big issue in publishing in education are these pirate libraries, and teachers and students make use of them in order to bypass the paywalls or purchasing of materials. And it's a hot topic right now. Pirate libraries are huge. The Verge earlier this year talked about Amazon's Project Zero, which will let brands remove products that are counterfeit or unlicensed from the website. In fact, last year, Amazon spent $400 million on fighting fraud. The problem, though, with Amazon is that there are the size of it. There are 5 billion changes to its website, to the products sold on its website every day. 5 billion changes a day. So keeping track of all of the fraud and all of the cheating is impossible. But they do take action when complaints are made, and products, services, downloads, especially ebooks, are removed if complaints are valid. And so I am here to talk specifically against downloading pirated material. Of course, the law is one thing, but even more so, we need to think about ourselves as teachers as moral agents. And that's what I really want to get across. Research has shown that teachers are really have a great effect on their students as moral leaders and as examples, not just for English education or language education, but for the development of our students under us. The second article that I'm just showing here, the ESL teacher as a moral agent, the conclusion of the article of the research shows that various features of classroom routines can have profound moral significance. So my suggestion to you is not only to do the right thing in the classroom, but even when no one is looking, to do the right thing and to have integrity. So here I'm going to give you a few suggestions for free, completely free materials and resources that I have made use of and I've found. Here is one, meals.org. It is a summer course that's run every year by Todd Bukins, who also created LO.org, which is a fantastic resource for listening, free listening tracks. And this is 50 different tips and tricks and lessons that you get via email, and it's, as I said, completely free. So for teacher development, I highly recommend this as part of your teacher training. Also, EFL Magazine has some fantastic resources. If you don't know about EFL Magazine, of course you can subscribe, but there are a lot of free articles published online. But in addition to that, they also have links to 34 books and guides for absolutely no money at all, 12 additional ones for under €1, and another 27 books and guides for under €5. So if you have a chance to access them, I highly recommend accessing them for teacher development. Now, as I mentioned, extensive reading is something that I feel very, very strongly, very passionately about. So reading, of course, is how people learn. And, this is a meme that I actually picked up this morning off of Facebook, and it tells us that this is how people install new software in their brains. So our friend Stephen Krashen has, in a meta-study of a number of extensive reading research publications, concluded that in-school self-selected reading works. Effect sizes were uniformly positive and typically quite impressive, and the effects and effectiveness are robust. So I am a huge believer in extensive reading, which is a mass amount of comprehensible input. So I'm going to talk a little bit about extensive reading resources specifically. Project Gutenberg has over 60,000 free out of license, so somewhat dated, but works of literature that you can access for free. Oxford has put just over 100 children's texts online on their Oxford Owl website that you can access for absolutely no money. Read Theory is a fantastic website with thousands of graded reading passages for absolutely no money. Teachers can set up a class website, and students can access and read and listen and do quizzes for literally thousands of different texts. So it's a fantastic repository for teachers who want to set up a reading program with no money, absolutely none. And also, BBC and Voice of America both have very extensive collections of materials that that teachers and students can access for listening, for reading. There are lessons, there are entire courses put up there, not just learning language, but also content as well. So if you're interested in a content-based curriculum with English as the medium of delivery, BBC and Voice of America both offer some fantastic options. Now, one specific thing that I really want to highlight in my presentation is what's called ER Central. It is a fantastic resource that's absolutely free, where you can get reading passages, listening passages, you can get do quizzes and gain words, also reading speed reading, all kinds of different resources here that is put out by Extensive Reading Central, and it is a partner site of the Extensive Reading Foundation that I am a part of. If you are lucky enough to have some paper books in your collection, MReader is a completely free resource where students can register their reading and do quizzes and log their reading progress. So this is something that is hosted by the Extensive Reading Foundation, and like I say, it's associated with books that you need to buy, but if you have an existing library, it's a great resource to match up with that and make use of it. So, in a nutshell, these are the resources, and this is my pitch to you. Do the right thing and access free material that is created for teachers to access at no charge. I'm actually conference chair for the 6th World Congress on Extensive Reading in 2 years in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. So if you're interested in extensive reading, please do join us at the ER World Congress in 2021. I just checked online, and flights out of Europe into Indonesia are somewhere in the 650 euro, 700 euro range if you book in advance. So please do join us there. Anyway, I see my time is up, and so thank you very much. Thank you to TESOL Northern Greece and to Rob Howard. Thanks very much. Have a great night, people.